to my first YouTube vlog. Today we're going to be discussing Calcutta's iconic cafe culture. You see, nowadays we have so many different kinds of cafes. We have the baristas and we have the cafe coffee days, we have Starbucks. But little do people actually know about Calcutta's history when it comes to cafes. Of course, it didn't start with these modernized cafes. So let's go and let's try to trace the roots of how it all began. Kolkata, which was considered the cultural hub of India, has been the birthplace of several intellectual leaders. It was also the land of modern Indian literary, artistic, and revolutionary thought. So, it is of no surprise that the Bengali culture has always encouraged the youth and the diverse communities residing in the city to engage in addas and freestyle intellectual conversation. Calcutta, which is a city synonymous with the love for food and literature, has seen its cabin restaurants turn lovers into poets, students into revolutionaries, and even artists into visionaries. And this takes us right back to the days of the cabin culture in the city, which originated in the era of the British Raj. At a time when there weren't too many outlets for entertainment, these cabins played an important role in creating the perfect environment for get-togethers for the urban middle-class masses who were very eager to participate in fierce intellectual debates, enticing dialogues, and innovation of thought. In the early 1900s, Indian society was a lot more orthodox, and women were discouraged from stepping out into the public eye. Hence, these cabins with swing doors or fluttering curtains in little roadside cafes, which were considered respectable establishments in those days, indeed offered the perfect outlet for women to enjoy eating out without the stigma. Later on, from the 1920s to the 60s, cabins were also used by lovers as a regular refuge to meet and make urgent conversation of the passionate or covert kinds. The cabin cafe businesses flourished during the 60s and the 70s, with communists and Naxals frequenting the booths as the iconic kathi rolls, mutton chops, and demade devils kept coming onto the table, along with cups of tea and smoke being piped out of cigarettes. These cabins have indeed witnessed several meetings, from freedom fighters laying out their plans and strategies to even anti-establishment gatherings pouring their hearts out on rickety, unstable, but rather reliable wooden benches and tables. One of the oldest cabins in Kolkata, which still exists today, is Onadi Cabin, which is a 94-year-old establishment. Many notable personalities associated with the Bengali film industry have visited this place, and many old Bengali films have also been shot in this area. Next on our list, we have Boshanto Cabin. Several accounts claim this cabin to be the birthplace of Kobiraji, which is a cutlet coated in beaten egg and breadcrumbs and deep fried to a crisp. And as the story goes, the head chef of Boshanto Cabin actually took up the challenge to impress Rabindranath Tagore in his days after the poet expressed his dislike for the usual recipe. Boshanto Cabin also had the honor of hosting Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and Swami Vivekananda in its heyday, having been in the business since the 1930s. Later, it made a permanent mark in Bengali households with Uttam Kumar's patronage. Along with their iconic fish Kobiraji, they are also known for their Mughlai parota, which comes with a small portion of aloo dum and some salad, which makes for a delightfully heavy meal. Another one of the most famous cabins in the entire city is Mitro Cafe, and it has been in the business since the 1920s, and it is continuously expanding to keep up with the burgeoning eateries around it. However, the secret to having survived the test of time lies in the name. According to sources, this place was given to Sushil Roy by his friend Ganesh Mitro as a token of friendship, and so to immortalize that, this cabin was named Mitro Cafe, and over the years it has emerged as a symbol of Mitorota, which means friendship. Next on the list, located opposite Ashutosh College and close to Hazra Mole, The Cafe is one of the best old school cabin restaurants around the Bhawanipur area. The small wooden chairs, a blackboard with the day's menu is scribbled down with a piece of chalk, a TV with a protruding box, fans struggling to provide relief to the wiry diners from the sweaty, humid Kolkata summers, this 83-year-old cafe is genteel and welcoming like an old friend. And finally, one name on the list of cabin cafes of Kolkata that is perhaps even known to people outside of Bengal is of course the famous coffee house on College Street. Originating in Albert Hall, Kolkata, the coffee board turned it into the Indian Coffee House in 1942. The coffee house is of historical significance for being the rendezvous of innumerable versatile people from its inception to date. Scholars, editors, artists, and writers like Ritwik Ghatak, Sunil Gangopadhyay, Shakti Chattopadhyay, Tapan Ria Chaudhuri, Shaikh Ahmed, Asif Shamim, Satyajit Ray, and Aparna Sen count amongst its patrons. Many people come here just for the sake of Adda, and it is a heritage landmark in the city.
Albert Hall on Kolkata's College Street is perhaps one of its most famous branches. Situated in the city's academic heartland, the coffee shop soon became a favourite of students and university staff, serving as a hotbed for radical discussions in the 1960s. But regulars will tell you to truly know the place, you must first understand the concept of Adda, the Bengali art of wide-ranging conversation.
That Adda may be a light-hearted exchange of views, maybe very light-hearted, maybe very serious. Yeah? In serious discussions, we have those philosophic, economic, sociological problems, even pure scandals. These are also juicy topics of Adda.
Popular with young and old alike, Albert Hall often fills to capacity, drawing in the punters with a range of low-cost drinks and snacks.
কফি হাউসের সেই আড্ডাটা হাজার নেই